Mpr. Yeah. We make that positive social change in the youths in range, we fix that. Negative stereotypes, dismiss that. Reach out to the youngers, big track. I wanna see them just succeed. Energy they're putting in, we need to believe. Mpr is built off dreams. Get yourself down, be part of the team.
Yeah, I think they're needed. Why? Because they, with any community, any sort of city community, you've obviously got wider areas that might have their own sort of individual views on things. Not even just talking about gang culture, but any different areas. You know, all different sorts of types of people, and it just brings people together that are probably thinking the same kind of things, but from a different sort of perspective or a different area. And it just makes people sort of think about working together as opposed to working, which is obviously what people need to do a lot more of these days. It just makes people think about working with other people as opposed to just working for themselves. And you know, it's not just always about. There's more, you know, as you give, so you receive as well. So it just makes a more productive environment for these people. Aspirations or lack thereof. If you ask a lot of young people these days what they want to be, they either don't know, or they've perhaps got some unrealistic sort of aspiration of doing something that they seem to think is easy. So they want to be a pop star, which obviously, you know, can happen to anybody, but they seem to think that all they need to do is just do a video on YouTube and they're going to get famous. Or, as I say, the other thing is just lack of aspiration. What do you want to do? I don't know. Well, you know, when you get to sort of, you come to a sort of an age where you've at least got some idea of what you want to do with life or what you would like to do. And I think a lot of those, because just a lot of avenues are closed down to people. What with one thing and another, you've got to go through a certain route, and if that route isn't easily accessible, then you know it's driven all sort of creativity and aspiration out of a lot of people, except those that are perhaps from a slightly more privileged environment. I think the biggest concerns in Derby, really, I think just at the minute is just as in a lot of the country, is just general work issues, employment issues, money issues, and it's, you know, it's obviously it's a very big problem, sort of very finely, thinly spread over a lot of people, over a lot of different things. I just think it's the general sort of fabric of the immediate sort of society. It's sort of difficult getting work, or it's difficult to set something up. There's a lot of, everything seems to be a challenge. There's a lot more obstacles in life than there perhaps needs to be. I like Derby a lot. I think Derby's a really good place. It's a really positive place. It's got the people in general. When there's any sort of community event going on, people in Derby generally will support it. If you have any sort of carnival or anything in town, everyone in Derby knows about it. Everyone's on board with it. What would I change about it? I don't really know. I just think it just gets overlooked a little bit. Derby gets overlooked a little bit, considering its contribution to things that Derby has done over the years. You know, industry born in Derby, industrial action unions and whatnot started in Derby. So for working people, you know, Derby's like a bit of an epicentre, really. But just in general, I think it just gets overlooked. We've got a lot of things going on. We've got the Peak District, just basically on the outskirts of the city centre. But we've got a lot of heritage in the city as well, and I just feel that it's perhaps doesn't get enough recognition as a as a serious place. You know, other places around the area, you know, Nottingham and Birmingham, they're big cities and this kind of thing, and you know, Derby's like just a place in between them places, really. Tolerance as a community, you know, on any sort of any scale, you know, a community is based on tolerance, or you know, successful communities based on tolerance. You know, you don't have to be, when people talk about equality and all this kind of thing, it doesn't mean that everyone has to be the same. You know, we're not all the same. That's the point. What we need to recognise is everybody isn't the same. That everybody is different, and not just obvious differences, but even people that, you know, you might think are similar. There's differences there, and it's just about tolerance. It's about respect, mutual respect. Why does one person want to do this, and one person want to do that? And furthermore, if they want to do something that you don't want to do, does it really matter to you? You know. So if you take like the obvious thing of religion, if someone's practicing a religion, well, I don't want to practice that religion. I don't practice any religion. But for someone else to practice their religion, as long as it's not hurting me, that's cool. I can get on with that. They can practice that, and they can practice their religion, and that's the thing. And the same with anything. As long as it's not infringing on other people, you need to be tolerant about certain things. Obviously, and that tolerance means you've also got to have intolerance for anything that is unacceptable. Unacceptable behaviour needs to be pointed out, called out, and, you know, dealt with accordingly. But yeah, I think just a little bit less the less needless political correctness and more actual considered tolerance about, you know, what is important to yourself and to other people. Keep up the good work.
We're on the first floor, 7 John Street, DE1 2LU. We would love for you to get involved, yeah? The contact number is 01332 298 185. That's 01332 298 185. Get yourself down, be part of the team.